So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the last session of the capacity building organized by ECH Alliance within the SIRENE project. My name is Federica Porcu. I'm Innovation Project Manager at ECH Alliance, and it's my pleasure to be here and introduce the session, Growth of Social Innovation Actors in Eco-Friendly and Sustainable Community-Based Services for SHAFE implementation in Europe. Today's session will be moderated by my colleague Dimitris Georgouli. Hi, Dimitris. But let's also welcome our panelists. The first one is Karina Dantas, CEO of Shine to Europe and coordinator of the SIRENE project. Then we have Willeke van de Stuurden. I don't know if I pronounce this correctly. Willeke, sorry. Then we have Carolina Makiewicz, Innovation Director of ECH Alliance, and Oscar Zanutto, Chief of EU Project Department at ISRA. Our panelists, welcome all. They are all from the SIRENE project, so we are a unique family today, and we will take also the occasion to show and to discuss about the results of the SIRENE project that is going to its end by the end of October. So now I can give the floor to Dimitris so he can start with the question to our panelists.
Thank you, Federica. So we'll start with Karina, that is the coordinator of the SIRENE project. And Karina, I wanted to ask you, what's the current state of the art in the implementation of smart, healthy, age-friendly environments across Europe?
Well, thank you so much, first of all, Federica and Dimitris, for organizing this webinar along with our F6S colleagues. I think it's a very nice plan to put some of the results forward, but for your first question, I would already need more than 1.5 hours. So I'll just make a very short summary, because the state of the art is very different according to different countries, and also depending on the different disciplines that we have within SHAFE. However, this very much relates to one of our first deliverables, the state of the art of social innovation ecosystems on SHAFE. And from there, maybe I can highlight 2 or 3 key ideas that we extracted and that we think are quite useful for future works as well. The first, maybe to present or to briefly discuss, is the fact that even if we advanced a lot in the last years to try to bring some glue together between digital technologies, health and social care, the built environments, the environment as a whole, and the whole connection between all of these disciplines, the truth is that we are still lagging a bit behind on some of the key aspects of this. For example, the inclusion of social sciences within research, especially also in the way that it can bring the different views of stakeholders, not only users, but the whole value chain to the development of new technologies, for example. There is still some disconnection between the private and the public sector, and we are still in need of more cohesive policy strategies that actually put together the different aspects of society when we think of advancing on community implementation of some kind of solution or service, or even on organizing the way things work at the neighborhood level or at the municipal level. We still need to work a bit more on this glue and on putting all of the stakeholders talking to each other. But we also need, and this comes at the conclusion of the state-of-the-art deliverable that I was saying, we still need to have a market more organized through the value we create, so value-driven and not only economically driven. We need to also be sure that things that are developed are accessible to a wide range of people. Very often we think of a niche market, but then when we try to upscale whatever solution or social innovation that exists, it's very difficult to go broader. This, of course, also has to do with a lot of regulations, different legislation in different European countries still. But anyway, there is the need to think on solutions and services that can be more usable by any kind of person in any country. And this is something that we are really hoping that will be improved. And this is the only way that we can then have integrated smart solutions, responsive environments that can be adapted in different countries and be further replicable. These were maybe some of the key aspects of the state of the art, and I hope they will also help to shape the discussion in the next questions.
Thank you very much, Karina. And of course, we also need investments, and we need to be aware of investment opportunities. So my next question is on Patricia, and is how. Sorry, something is wrong with that.
Sorry.
Sorry. So yeah, Patricia, could you give us an overview of investment in different areas of sport in smart, age-friendly housing, a reduction of investments in residential care? You have been working on a, investments monitoring survey, and we would be glad to hear from you some insights of this.
Great. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yeah, right? Perfect. So yeah, the aim of the report is to monitor the investment in smart, healthy, age-friendly solutions. And well, we sent out the survey to our experts and to several people. And to get more answers, we also had printed versions of the survey that we gave in the event in Brussels. And the good news is that we got more answers. So right now we are at 9 valid online answers and 2 extra answers in person. The data has not yet been analyzed, but I can give like just the key points of the old analysis from the 9. I think it was 7 back then. We had 7 answers. So most of the people were from the educational sector and active in the field of education. We asked about the importance of the different areas. So the most important area, if you take the average of the answers, was social participation. And the highest investments have been made in the area of community and health, even though it's still, the answers were still mostly less than 5%. That was the, yeah, but the results will change now that we have more answers, and we will analyze the new data and then have the report finalized by this month.
Thank you, Patricia. So I guess your findings will be published by the end of October and will be available on the SIRENE website. So then going to Oscar. Oscar, we have a long experience with community-based services, and we wonder if you could predict what does the future hold for eco-friendly and sustainable community-based services in Europe.
Thank you very much, Dimitris and everybody. So this question is challenging, and I think for overcome the eco-friendly issue and make it sustainable, we have mainly to touch and work on 3 main elements. So point 1 is building locally social platforms. What it means that we need to enable the connection between public authorities or private player, but overall with citizen locally, and with the aim of creating trust. So trust, requires people overall, let's say, local authorities who could facilitate the process to connect the local stakeholder, as has been said previously from my colleagues. And what should do such kind of social platform? Could, for example, gather some opportunities in terms of urban transformation, energy accessibility, and moving towards what is so-called the shared economy. For example, we realized some years ago an interesting Erasmus project that was about the sharing economy, and we have seen the high potential of having people connected on board in such web platform for an exchange of informations or buyers group in such a way to mobilize locally, let's say, the right volume that could have also, let's say, a significant role in playing negotiations, for example, about energy or options according to the plans of the city and other subjects. Finally, let me say the third point is about having data. So it means knowing people and let's say and the economy that goes locally to understand who could be connected with whom and why. But it requires, let's say, a good map of the situation. So essentially, those 3 points in our experience are the ones who matter the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. And talking about connections, we'll continue with Carolina. So, Carolina, based on your experience with the wide network of ECH Alliance regional and thematic innovation ecosystems, how can partnerships across sectors help foster innovation in age-friendly and inclusive environments?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, Dimitris, for this question, and thank you for having me at this session. So as you might know, ECH Alliance, the Global Health Connector, we are the organization that we say that our mission is to connect, convene, to amplify and accelerate. And I think that this amplify and accelerate already says that the partnership, people being connected, people that speak to each other, as Karina also earlier said, different sectors talking and collaborating with each other, have the opportunity to amplify and accelerate this innovation processes within the age-friendly environment, but also any environment and any areas of our activity. And just to maybe unpack it a little bit about what sectors we are talking about, of course, in the approach of the quadruple helix, we are talking about the collaboration between government, industry, academia, and social sector. And I think it's also very important to unpack it even further to understand that we also should engage the subsectors. So if we think about the industry, it's of course large companies, but it's also small startups. When it comes to the government, of course, it's the national government, but it's also the local governments, the cities, the municipalities, and obviously also the EU decision makers. So there are very many different layers of the stakeholders, and it's not only important, I think it's also worthwhile to engage with them in this collaboration. And why and what kind of value actually they bring, of course, to this process of innovation. We need evidence-based policies. So of course, this evidence comes from the academia. We need smart, good policies, enlightened policies. So this, of course, comes from the government and the funding, either the public or the private funding. So this can come from the government or from the companies, the investments, and the need and the support and enthusiasm, mobilization community that comes from the social sector. And last week when we met in Brussels at the SHAFE conference brought together by the SIRENE project and the Cost Action Net for Age Friendly, a lot of discussions were also about how to really do it. So how to really put this collaboration in practice, what is needed, what conditions are needed. And part of this is also collected in one of the results, deliverables, outputs of the SIRENE project, which will be the toolkit for collaboration, which will be published towards the end of October this year. And some elements that are important for this collaboration. So for this how to do it, how to create this partnership, is of course being open for collaboration, being curious about the collaboration, about the needs of the other sector, and also the opportunities that the other sector, the other partner can bring. Some people said, for example, that it's also important that it's not to assume, not to have some reservations towards the other sector. So again, being open-minded to learn from each other and to include each other in those processes. And maybe to close, it's also that this collaboration obviously needs to happen on different level again. Sometimes it can, it's enough if it's on the, for example, if we speak about the living environment on the level of municipality. But of course, we need to also put it in the context of the regional development, of the national development, and this collaboration partnership. It's also worthwhile to think about the international cross-border partnerships. So I think I will stop here. So a lot of opportunities and a lot of benefits from those partnerships across sectors to foster innovation in SHAFE. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. And of course, one critical consideration is also sustainability of these collaborations and these partnerships. So I will ask again, Karina, how can the sustainability of social innovation actors in SHAFE be ensured, particularly in maintaining long-term impact while adapting to evolving societal, technological, and environmental changes?
Thank you, Dimitris. Well, I think that actually Carolina already approached a little bit around this in a way, but let's say in a different angle, what I think that needs to be considered for the future is that we will need as a society to try to invest more on having the small experiments, pilot actions at the local, municipal, and regional level, and to be sure that we have the resources to put forward new initiatives that can be indeed fit to the different needs of each region or community or country. I think there is this important idea of having transversal big objectives and actions that unify Europe, which is of course good, but we also need to be sure that if we want smart, healthy, and friendly environments, if we want inclusive solutions to be implemented at the community level, the only way to ensure that this will happen on the long term will be to have also flexibility and adaptation at the local level. I do hope that for the future, the SHAFE Foundation that will take the results of SIRENE and also Net4H friendly and try to support them to be further used in the future. I hope that the foundation will be a vehicle that will be able also to keep this wide network together and to foster the exchange between different actors and also different countries so that we can try to keep this long-term impact moving forward.
Thank you, Karina. And for talking about sustainability, Vileke has been working on the sustainability strategy of the social innovation framework. And I want to ask you, how can social innovators integrate a successful business approach into their projects, into their products and their services?
Yeah. I think social innovation is often only performed by social innovators, and they are not the same as business innovators or technology innovators. So there is a huge gap between the social innovators that are more thinking of the social aspects of our human life, human interests, and the business innovators that are more interested in how to make a profit and how to do investment, successful investment that does also return on investment. So therefore, in the SIRENE project, we have developed one result as one of the building blocks of the social innovation framework that is providing tools to social innovators in which we give them simple examples or easy to follow examples of how to perform a market study, which stakeholders should be involved, and that you can make a power analysis of stakeholders so that you can know who must be contacted. We have also provided business models, all kinds of business models, like the steeple, like the social, technology, economic, political environments where you can foster on. Also the canvas business modeling, which also invites social innovators to think about what the needs of the customers and the products that they can offer and which channels they can provide. We have also in this we also sketch some other business models, like the platform business models, like that was developed, for instance, like Uber, where you can have the demand and offer that you come together on one platform and that you can digitally exchange. And the last tool for social innovators is the business plan development, in which we have provided an example of a business plan, where you can write it for your own use. For instance, that when you write a business plan, it's first very important to think of the one that will invest in you, that he or she wants to know who you are, but also what you think you can offer, and that you exactly define in good words and good planning what it should be. The business plan doesn't need to be long, but it has to be very concise and very concrete, so that you can what is it called? Can find investors in your social innovation that you should have. That's from my part. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigitte. And of course, in order to foster social innovation, we need the support of public authorities and policy makers. So I want to come back to Carolina and ask, in what ways can collaboration between social innovation actors and public authorities enhance the successful implementation of SHAFE across Europe?
Thank you. Building on what Vileka and what Karina already said, and also what was said earlier, I think that it's very important. Again, the benefit or the opportunity for this collaboration is to really match the need with the solution. So if here thinking about the public authorities or the government is in the need of a specific initiative or the instrument to help them implement SHAFE. Here, of course, the social innovation actors provide the solution. And this is, again, very important to make sure that this collaboration can happen, that the actors know about each other, and that they discuss, they work together, they speak to each other, and they actually explore jointly those needs and those potential solutions. Then the other way, still coming back to what Oscar was talking about, what future what is there in the future in this area. I think that it's also very important for the social innovation actors and the public authorities to engage in a discussion about the future, what actually the future is, what is the possible future, but what is also the preferred future for the societies, and how here the social innovation actors can bring the value with the funding, with the support of the public administration. And I think it's important to engage in this dialogue, regardless, to of course make sure that the priorities are aligned, that the expectations are aligned, and that the full benefit of this collaboration can really be explored. Of course, I think that the social innovation actors here are also maybe a bit closer to the ground, closer to the life, closer to the real people, and in that sense they can also engage in the co-creation, in the co-design of those solutions that then address the needs of the public administration. And maybe for the end, it's also one element or one way how those social innovation actors and public authorities can also engage in collaboration. Of course, are the public-private collaborations, but also nowadays we talk so much more about the innovation procurement or even pre-commercial procurement. So some ways how this collaboration can happen in really practical way to benefit not only the social innovation actors and the public authorities, but above all, to benefit the societies across Europe.
Thank you, Carolina. And going back to Oscar, he mentioned earlier that like activities at local level and taking consideration of like the local needs. Oscar, could you elaborate on what strategies can be applied to ensure the scalability of community-based services while keeping them eco-friendly and aligned with the local needs?
Yes, sure. So here we need one key element that are people. People, I mean, experts with right skills who could be able to have a conversation with all the actors locally. You know, that could be the potential, for example, in the building sector to be interested in, let's say, renovating a specific area or part of the buildings. But what we have seen also in literature and let's say actually in the reality, they don't know how to proceed on that. And on this way, it is essential to have people who got the knowledge in the social domain or in the psychosocial domain, able to engage who is living there and who is also willing to put an effort in, let's say, redesigning the environment and the options. And so it means to lead a participatory process. We did this with our team a couple of times, in particular in a municipality with 40,000 citizens, in dedicating roughly a couple of years, having conversation with all the actors and in understanding with focus group needs and the, let's say, the imagination, let's say, fostering the ideas and imagination regarding how they could supposed to have another way of living in that area. It was a specific case, let's say, related to in the football ground and the stadium that could be, let's say, converted in housing for several targets. So without the key expert on the ground knowing how to approach people, you could have financial, let's say, firepower on one hand and other interesting people on the other hand, but you won't be able to match them. So this is a key essential part. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you all, and here we need to say that all the social innovation framework and all other results of the SIRENE project focus on like supporting the growth of social innovation actors for SAFE implementation in Europe and will be available in the SIRENE project website by the end of October. Of course, SAFE Foundation will uptake all the results and will be the successor of SIRENE, further supporting this growth. We can move forward to the Q&A session. I don't know if we have any questions from our participants, or if someone of the panelists wants to add something. I don't see any questions. So Federica, maybe back to you then.
Okay, I can see that there are some externals. If you want to ask some question, you can also type them in the chat. But if we don't have, and we don't have any major comments from our panelists, I can say that we can close this session. And remember that the recording of this session will be available in the SIRENE project. So I wish you all a nice evening and see you soon.